thing is, until you can erase 3 Februaries, shut up. Bang! Quality over quantity. LeBron has beaten some of the best competition in NBA history. He's the GOAT emoji. I will not cuss. I will not cuss. I will not swear. I will not swear.
Where sports is the base, life and fun are the results. This is the Brian Snow Show.
Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the Wednesday edition of the Brian Snow Show. Happy to have y'all with us. I have a wonderful guest for you, and I'll bring him in a couple of moments. In case you missed the fun this morning where I kind of went in on a certain basketball player, you can find it on the YouTube page at Snowman Multimedia or at Snowman in the Morning. Let's talk some baseball, shall we? Because we do talk baseball in these parts. Imagine you being a member of the number one college baseball team in the country, and no one expected you to get there, but hardly any people in your area are talking about it. Imagine if you're the voice of said team, and every clip that comes out featuring your voice and having you in it makes you want to do more. That is where my guest comes in. Please welcome the fabulous play-by-play voice of Wake Forest women's basketball and Wake Forest baseball, and a very dear friend of mine, Mr. Ty Collins. Good afternoon, Ty. How are you, my friend?
Snowman, you there?
I got you, man.
All right, you doing all right?
I'm doing good, man. How does it, we talked about this before we came on, how does it feel to be a part of the number one baseball team in the country?
Well, considering that this is, this is team 109. Wake Forest baseball goes back to even before the first World Series, Major League Baseball. So, 109 for that long of a period of time, and this is the first time that they've been ranked number one. Now, they did win it in 1955 at the end, but this is the first time they've ever been ranked number one, which is sometimes you got to remind yourself. But it's trying to stay on top now. That means the pressure comes on now.
Yeah, the pressure is on, but you guys seem to handle it very, very well. You got a big series coming up against Florida State, and that's on the road. But to say that you're a part of the number one baseball team in the country, do you have to pinch yourself sometimes as a play-by-play announcer to be a part of this? Do you have to pinch yourself sometimes?
Like when we first got into the season and where we were preseason ranked, it was 2015. So I thought they're going to have a good year. I don't know about number one wise, but definitely a good year. And just for the long haul of watching this team, how they've responded, I think I started believing maybe I think after the sweep down in Clemson, that was when I started really believing that this team was the real deal, Holyfield, and they were, going to be number one.
Does some of this go back to the disappointing finish last year when y'all lost in the regional round and you were kind of expected to go far? Does this go back to last year sometimes?
Yeah, I mean, last year, of course, going to Maryland for that regional, UConn was a very good team.
Mm-hmm.
And then playing Maryland, it was somewhat of a disappointment, but I think you saw some glimpses of what this team could be. So it didn't quite hurt as much. But I think that going with the talent that came into this season, if they weren't, I guess, where they are now or even, one of the top in the ACC, then that would be really troubling. But they really responded. Apparently, it really hit hard to this team last year more than I thought so. So, and then on top of getting some key transfers, can you imagine this pitching staff with the talent of McGraw, who has been out since the beginning of the season, which he was going to be number 2 starter. So then you add a guy by the name of Sean Sullivan, who comes in from Northwestern, and he was their Friday night starter.
Yeah.
So think about this, like in February before the season, where you're not sure about if right now you think McGraw is going to be in your rotation, and you have a Friday night starter, you're not sure where you want to put him. So that just shows you about the luxury of riches that Wake Forest baseball had. And it's been very impressive on how they have lured people in with the pitching lab, the facilities they have. It's really been really a fun ride.
Let me ask this, because my buddy Jay Spivey posed this question on Monday. Why didn't anyone in the triad really talk about Wake Forest baseball? And I'm speaking journalist wise, because we talk college baseball all the time here. Why is it not getting the press that y'all not getting the press that y'all deserve, even in your own area in the triad?
Yeah, that's a good question. I think we've got the two writers that really follow this team with Connor O'Neill, and then you've got Les Johns, who does his due diligence, and I always read their stuff. And then you've got some school paper blogger So Dear, but I mean, I don't know as far as why some of it. I have felt like they've kind of been swept under the rug, and I've said a couple times. I think you've heard on the broadcast where I've said, this is the number 2 team in the country. Like, if you haven't come down to see this team, you're missing out on a great. So. They're starting to get, people to come in and watch the games. They have broke records in attendance wise, but yeah, I would like to see a little bit more publicity, if you will. But that also plays in their favor because they feel like they've kind of been slighted. They've got a chip on their shoulder, and this season they've kind of played with that, and it's worked. So I hope that continues.
Well, you got a fan here all the way from Indiana checking in with you and with the team every time and pulling for you guys. My wife's included in that also. We're going to take a break, and when we come back, Ty and I will talk some broadcasting shop in terms of getting ready and want to provide a lesson for all the young folks that are listening. This is the Brian Snow Show. We'll be back.
Where sports is the base, life and fun are the results. This is the Brian Snow Show.
Here's an important message from the Diabetes Solution Center. Do you like pricking your fingers to test your blood sugar levels? No one does, but it's important to maintain your health. And now, by wearing a small remote device called a continuous glucose monitor, or CGM, you don't need to prick your fingers anymore. It's easy to use and helps you make more accurate diabetes treatment decisions. If you are testing your blood sugar 3 or more times daily, injecting insulin, or using an insulin pump, call the Diabetes Solution Center right now. And if you have Medicare or most major insurance coverage, you may be able to get a new CGM at little to no out-of-pocket cost. Shipping is free, and we'll even bill your insurance company for you. If you are testing your blood sugar 3 or more times daily, injecting insulin, or using an insulin pump, call the Diabetes Solution Center right now to learn how to end the painful finger sticks and get your own continuous glucose monitor, or CGM, at little to no out-of-pocket cost.
I'm in another lane, I'm a different breed, I'm everything you can never be, I'm next level, next level.
Thursday nights are wrestling night on CSTV. Tune in every Thursday night at 7 p.m. Pacific to see all the amazing Next Level Pro Wrestling stars on Thursday Night Throwdown on CSTVNow.com and the CSTV app on your Roku device.
Hey, y'all, Snowman here. Catch me, Cole Johnson, Wise El Jefe, and the usual cast of characters as we bring it to you every Monday through Friday at 8 a.m. Eastern. It's called Snowman in the Morning with Cole Johnson, and it's right here on CSTV and CSTVNow.com. Join us, won't you?
One of the great great things about ordering meals from Mother of Macros is that you can do it from the comfort of your own home. Click the national or local delivery link to access the menu, and we'll ship the meals right to your door. We understand you won't always have time to plan, shop, prepare, and cook to provide healthy nutrition for your family, so the process is simple and saves you hours. We know you're busy, so our meals are professionally prepared and packaged. You only need to heat them up and enjoy. We provide macro-balanced, delicious meals chock full of fresh, local ingredients with none of the stuff you don't want to eat. Plus, our menu changes every week, keeping your taste buds wanting more. We take care of your meals so you can worry about everything else on your list. Mother of Macros.
SeatGeek is the ticketing app for fans like the High Five Strangers guy. Game-winning interception. First down. Just a nice, solid tackle. If you're in arm's length, you will be swapping skin with this extra berth. You see, he knows SeatGeek got him a great deal on tickets, so he can focus on what he does best, smacking palms. SeatGeek handles the tickets to sports, concerts, and more, so fans can fan.
Where sports is the base, life and fun are the results. This is the Brian Snow Show.
It is indeed the Brian Snow Show. My guest is Ty Collins, the fabulous play-by-play voice of Wake Forest baseball. I had the pleasure of sharing a mic with this man while he was on location in Greensboro. I'm here in Indiana. Of course, I was going through an illness at the time, but man, that was one of the most fun broadcasts I ever had, is when I had you riding shotgun with me when we called that UNCG game. That was fun.
I was glad it worked out because I remember they were in a pinch, and I knew you were out in Indianapolis. They hovered the idea, if possible, of remote. And luckily, I have no idea, but how it worked, it was great because it literally felt like you were beside me and you were in Indiana.
It worked. It worked out, man.
But I mean, you know what's great is I've done some games with a lot of people, and there's. For you, I knew we were going to click just because you're very relaxed. And that's key because, as you know, once you are the voice or, doing play-by-play, you want to make the fans feel comfortable. You got that. We both can kind of lean back like we're in a lazy boy and call the game.
Yeah.
And that I knew off the bat after our conversations before we even got on the mic, I knew we were going to be great. And again, you sent me video of you doing JUCO, and you know what I said about that. So
yes,
I always love broadcasters that are comfortable. That is, they bring the audience in as if they're in the living room, and you got that, and I knew it was going to be fun. So I don't want. It's sometimes tough if you ever get a partner, a broadcast partner that's a little nervous, and we've all been nervous, but kind of protrudes. And you kind of feel that vibe and that energy gets to you a little bit. But even when you are miles and miles away, you were about as cool as a cucumber, and it was great. So I hope we will do it again. We will.
We absolutely will.
Yeah.
If I got to find a way to fly down to Greensboro for us to do a game, again before this season ends, right. I'm going to tell my wife, look, we're taking a weekend. We're going down to North Carolina. You can go shopping or relax. I have a baseball broadcast to do, and I know she'll support it in a heartbeat. But I look forward to doing more games with you, basketball, baseball, whatever it is, man. It's like you find that one partner who just clicks with you. It doesn't matter the sport. It doesn't matter the situation. It doesn't matter. What could be thrown at you. You've been in this game for a long time. I've been in this game a long time. You can have circumstances thrown at you at the last possible second that you have to navigate around.
Yes. It's you got to hit that audible button, right?
Mm-hmm. I mean, shucks. The game we did, they had to call an audible, and I get a call at the last minute. Like, you want to share a mic with Ty? Are you kidding? You better believe I do. We jumped all over it. I mean, when I got the call to do some UNCG games last year, I nearly hung up, and I'm like, wait a minute, something didn't click at that time. Something didn't click, and this was before I had my surgery. And I said, wait a minute, now I know who it is. And I said, can we do this remotely? And Colby said, yeah, we can handle that. We send you a Zoom link and you're right there. It worked.
Yep, it worked.
It worked.
Yeah, I know it's night and day though when you were at the actual site. But I mean, we even with the remote broadcast, which we can get into discussion about remote broadcast at a later time, but
yeah,
I like that as plan C. I'll have to do some remote broadcasts this weekend. But I don't like it as the A option. I like it as the B or the C option. So, but I digress, right?
Yeah. How much fun is it? You and I being baseball voices, and we love being at the ballpark, getting the vibe from the fans, getting the vibe from the players. How much fun is it when you're there at the ballparks, in the booth, setting the scene for the folks who can't make it?
Yeah, I mean, I look at it like, when the Weather Channel, there's a hurricane coming, right?
Mm-hmm.
If a meteorologist is doing it from the studio, it doesn't quite hit as much as when you're actually feeling these hurricane winds and describing them to the viewer. So I think that goes in hand with how it is for broadcasters on site, because you feel the energy, you're able to feel the environment. You don't feel detached when you are looking at a monitor. You get to hear the sounds. It's just a totally different. You become a part of the environment, and that's what makes baseball and just live sports unique. Is because you are a part of the environment. You are part of the game. You're a part of the energy. And as a broadcaster, it is your duty to kind of amplify that to your fans or to the listeners. So you want to make them feel like they're there too.
Yeah. So you have to make them feel like they're there. And it's like, I've done games where there's like a script lined out of your live reads and what commercials coming next and what's coming up next at the top of at the top of whatever inning. When you and I got together to do that game with UNCG last year, there was no script. There was just, okay, Brian's coming from Indiana. Ty, you're going to be here. And, with that one game, and I've gotten a lot of compliments about it. And as you have, it's like Ty and I have done this for years. Everybody got that feeling like, wait, where's Brian again? Where's Ty again? It just feels like we've done it for years, man. It's just natural.
Well, I mean, you get some of these guys that have the chemistry right away. Some of them you have to work with, and you would know too, even doing shows.
Yep.
It's like you got to get that chemistry and having to have different color analysts. They've all been great. It's just I've got to kind of like feel it out a little bit, have to have some growing pains. And then once you figure it out, so you're not like stepping on their toes, or when they're like, for instance, my color analyst for soccer on ACC Network, we've been together for about, I think, 5 years, and he just knows my flow. Like, it's just like he sees where my sound waves and when I'm coming down, when to interject, he's got me down so well that he knows if I'm like in a little bit of disheveled, he'll tell me he knows what I'm looking for, and he'll point either to my sheet or this or that. Just becomes a great partner. So he just gets me, and he's like in Top Gun, my wingman. So and that took a little bit to actually come in fruition, but once it did, it was just we just fit together like a glove. And in the game of soccer where it's fast paced, blah blah blah. I mean, he knows the game well. So like if there's a shot, he'll give me the number if I missed it. So he gets it where we're a part of a team
Mhm.
and not going against each other, which you get that too.
Yeah.
Some, I don't know what it is they feel that is as if that we're going up against each other. We're all like going, apart in a Hollywood script, but it's not. Once you get the team concept, then it works. If you don't have the team concept, it's not going to work. So, if you come in and saying like, Brian, we're going to do this game together. We're teammates. I'm going to do 1 and 2. You're going to do 3 and 4 on the innings. And this is how this is going to be. This is information. And then Brian, what do you have? Well, I've got this information, and I'm not going to scoff at it, right? We're both teammates. So you're like, okay, sweet. How about this? I'll come in and do this one. I'll throw it to you, and then you throw this nugget down about where they are when the moon is full and the ketchup bottle is turned on a different, some random stat, right? And then we come in, so it's all together. We're performing together. So sometimes I feel like that art is sometimes, I don't know, lost. But it's anytime you get partnered up, I look at it even as a former athlete, like we're teammates. So we're in this together. We're in the trenches. I'm not here to embarrass you. You're not here to embarrass me. We're here to make each other look great.
Yeah.
So even like I've had sometimes where I've had a color analyst come in the last minute, and I would throw every bit of my information to them. All that long prep. And, all the long prep, I'm sitting there thinking, and you probably thinking this too, like when you're at school and you've been doing all that homework and someone says, well, let me take that. You kind of get the feeling like, no, I just did all this work. Why should I give it to you for free? But in this pinch that we were going through, if it becomes this kind of scenario, I say, all right, well, yeah, I did do a lot of work, but I want this to be fantastic. I did a lot of this. I want a lot of this information to be, broadcasted out to let the audience know about this. And with me doing play-by-play, I might miss it. So here, let me send my notes to my partner and he can have it in case, for instance, I can't, give that nugget. So when I did the Wake Forest spring game for football, like I was with a partner that's one of my mentors, and he just got back from vacation. And I said, I'm going to send you all my stuff, of my stuff. And you can, and feel free to jump in if I don't say anything, and you can make it look like this all. So it was all just to make sure that we looked like a team and we're able to give the best broadcast we could. So,
yeah. And you caught on to what I was doing when I was doing the lineups. And I just threw it to you. I said, here's Ty with the UNCG defense. And you just went right with it. And it's like, oh, he's got it. He's got this. So, and we did the same thing for the bottom of the first. I believe we were playing Towson. Did the same at the bottom of the first. I threw it to you for the defense. And in my mind, I'm thinking, okay, we just did that like we were 10-year veterans. We've been together 10 years. At this, because you've done it for Wake Forest, I for UNCG, and it just that afternoon it just clicked, and it was so much fun to do.
Yeah, it was, and then I didn't feel at all worried because I had to miss the Saturday game because of a family situation. So they were like, "Can Brian do it solo?" And I was like, "Absolutely, can do it solo."
Because I remember them asking you, would Brian be able to handle it solo, and I'm like, I've been doing solo for most of my broadcast life. I get it. I get it.
I will tell you, I have a good crew that are broadcasters, but you're definitely one in that small group that I know can do solo. So
appreciate it
because you kind of entertain yourself like I do. It's almost like we're talking to ourselves in the room.
It does feel like that. Ty Collins, the voice of Wake Forest baseball, joining me. We're due for a break, and when we come back, we'll talk some more broadcast shop, and then we'll talk the craziest games we've ever done, no matter what the sport. And I got a few good ones. Back after this.
Where sports is the base, life and fun are the results. This is the Brian Snow Show.
this thread and you're watching Shady Sports Network, tune in, hit that like button.
You might wonder, what do these guys do? Player signing announcements. I never in a million years thought you would actually come on to break this news. So without further ado, go ahead and tell everybody what happened today.
Yeah, man. I just had to work out with the Cincinnati Bengals. Signing me right out.
Without further ado, I'd like to announce that, I'll be taking my talents to Salina Liberty.
This just in. The Major League of Football is reportedly collapsing, unable to pay hotel room bills, with players being kicked out of their rooms and hotel managers asking them to leave voluntarily without issue.
And then we got Lions wide receiver Williams is debuting this week as a starter. That's something to look at as far as the eye test goes. And then another one on the eye test is Mostert might be coming back to Miami. And we can see if he has a role in this offense and see if he can be viable for the next couple weeks coming and help us in the playoffs and possibly towards a championship. That would be very nice because he's sitting on my bench right now.
Here's an important message from the Diabetes Solution Center. Do you like pricking your fingers to test your blood sugar levels? No one does, but it's important to maintain your health. And now, by wearing a small remote device called a continuous glucose monitor, or CGM, you don't need to prick your fingers anymore. It's easy to use and helps you make more accurate diabetes treatment decisions. If you are testing your blood sugar 3 or more times daily, injecting insulin, or using an insulin pump, call the Diabetes Solution Center right now. And if you have Medicare or most major insurance coverage, you may be able to get a new CGM at little to no out-of-pocket cost. Shipping is free, and we'll even bill your insurance company for you. If you are testing your blood sugar 3 or more times daily, injecting insulin, or using an insulin pump, call the Diabetes Solution Center right now to learn how to end the painful finger sticks and get your own continuous glucose monitor, or CGM, at little to no out-of-pocket cost.
Where sports is the base, life and fun are the results. This is The Brian Snow Show.
Sir, it is indeed the Brian Snow Show with Ty Collins, voice of Wake Forest baseball, the top-ranked Wake Forest baseball team, joining me here on this Wednesday afternoon. All right, I teased it during the break. How about some of our craziest games / craziest broadcasts that we've ever been involved with? And I'll start with this one. It was 2002, and I was covering high school football in Chicago. And it was basically the battle for number one in the Chicago Catholic League and number one in the state. You had fourth ranked Brother Rice and third ranked St. Rita. The sun was shining when I was on my way to the stadium, but I saw clouds in the distance. I'm thinking, okay, this is going to get bad real quick. So when I get there, I can't sit in the booth because the booth was too small. And I know you've been there with that one. The booth was too small. I had to go on the roof. I had to go on the roof. And then it started raining midway through the first quarter. So I didn't have a headset mic at the time. I had a handheld mic and a set of headphones. So I'm holding on to the mic. I'm holding on to the umbrella. Umbrella goes flying because the 20-mile-an-hour gust of wind sends my umbrella sideways and sends it out of the way. The field is a mud pit. I'm soaked to the bone, and that game wound up going 6 overtimes.
Oh my goodness!
It was 14. You ever say something, and this is for all the broadcasters that are tuning in. You ever say something that you playfully regret later because it was 14 apiece late in the fourth quarter. And I said, the only way this game continues is if there's a fumble, because St. Rita had the ball on the 1 yard line. When you know it, there was a fumble on the 1 yard line.
Yeah.
And that started the overtime madness. It was crazy enough during regulation. Wound up being 51-48 St. Rita. I didn't get home until midnight, and parents were like thanking me for the broadcast on both sides, on both St. Rita's and Brother Rice's side. And anyone living in Chicago who's been to a Catholic League baseball, basketball, or football game, y'all know they know how to party. All right. Before and after the game, I had like 2 plates of food, and people were putting beer in my pockets in my trench coat, and I'm soaked. One of the best games I ever did.
Wow.
And one of the most fun games I ever did.
Man.
That was crazy. All right, give me one of yours.
So, okay, not weather, as far as weather-wise, but this happened this past November. So I got to go do the Las Vegas Invitational, where it's NCAA women's basketball programs, and I'm sure you've heard of it because it was all over the ESPN. But this Invitational was in a ballroom, so it's where they set up a makeshift basketball court. The idea was
ballroom. Oh goodness!
Because I had no idea, never been to Vegas. I pull in, go from my hotel room down to the lobby, and I'm just asking where is this place, because it's in the right resort, and they're like, "Hey, go this way, go this way, go this way," and then finally it says it's this room right here. So I walk in, I'm like, okay, this is a ballroom. This must be where they like practice. And it's like, no, you're going to be sitting right here. You're going to be sitting over to the left, and then this is where we'll be set up, and you'll have camera here, camera there. And I'm like, this is a ballroom. But yeah, so that was a very bizarre situation. So I took it because obviously you get more reps, and you're flying out to Vegas. You're not just going to, but
you're not turning that down. You're in Vegas. You're not turning that down.
So it's 10 games in 2 days too, which is really, really taxing on your voice. And
yeah.
But and then one instant, one of the players went down.
Mm-hmm.
She was hurt, and it took, I think, like 45 minutes for the ambulance to get there, which was just unbelievable.
Yeah.
And me and the Auburn play-by-play guy were just kind of like looking at each other like, I have no idea. So
right
on the break, we're like, this is the most bizarre thing I've ever seen. So he probably vouched for that too, that it's probably the most bizarre long injury time on the court, waiting for some help, waiting for ambulance. But overall, I think it was an experience that I'll never forget. I enjoyed every minute of it. It was bizarre, but it was also a blast. But I thought that was really interesting when I'm like getting directed, and then you say, "Oh yeah, we're in here," and it's "Oh, I'm sorry, I'm looking for a basketball tournament, not like a convention." That's like, no,
right.
This is so the thought was there. It was right. It just you need some brush up. So I mean, there were good teams there. I mean, there was Indiana was there, Auburn was there, Memphis was there. So there were a lot of good top caliber programs that made the trip to Las Vegas. It was just totally kind of threw us all off that we're in a ballroom.
I bet.
So, but I never even got a chance to experience Vegas in the first place because I was either in the ballroom or making my way to my room in the hotel. So never even actually went outside.
Here's a basketball one. I was at Chicago State at the time, and we were playing Utah Valley, and it was a matchup of the two highest scorers in the Great West Conference with David Holston from Chicago State and a fellow named Ryan Toulson from Utah Valley. I get there at 5 to tape my coach's interview, tape my halftime show, and put all those pieces in place. And I'm waiting for my partner to get there. My partner didn't get there until like 5 minutes after tip-off because, unfortunately, he was stuck in traffic. And the crowd just kept coming in and coming in. First, Chicago State led by 13. And then all of a sudden, midway through the second half, Utah Valley is up by 13. And I'm thinking, okay, Ryan Toulson's on a roll. And he was sitting on 33 points. I said, okay, they're going to roll. They're going to run away. I get to get home early. Right? Wrong. David Holston leads the charge, leads the comeback. Next thing I know, we're tied at 79 and we're going to overtime. And I'm thinking, all right, here we go again. Because they had a couple of overtime games earlier in the year. First overtime, nip and tuck. Everybody's missing shots, making shots.
Right.
Second overtime, same thing. Okay, somebody's going to pull away. Meanwhile, Ryan Toulson's approaching 60 points. David Holston fouls out with 45. John Cantrell comes in. He steps up. Next thing I know, he has 40 points. I'm thinking, okay, what is going on here? We get to the third overtime. It was 104 apiece heading into the third overtime. I'm thinking, okay, somebody's got to win this. Utah Valley gets out to a 5-point lead. Next thing I know, we're tied again. 114 heading into the fourth overtime. And just when we think we're about to have another overtime, the game ends on a controversial goaltending call.
No way.
With 2 seconds left in the fourth overtime. And the final was 123-121 Utah Valley. We had our post-game meet, and the post-game was only supposed to go 30 minutes. Nope, it went 90. Because I talked to both the coaches. I talked to Ryan Toulson. I talked to David Holston, John Cantrell. I talked to everybody. And then my partner and I finally wrapped it up. It wound up being a 4-hour, 50-minute broadcast.
Oh, man.
For basketball with four overtimes. I go home. I'm hurting. All right. I'm hurting. And in between overtimes, my body decided to remind me of how much water I drank, how much Sprite I put down, and how many Pepsis I put down. So I'm jumping all over the place. In between overtimes, I had to run to the bathroom.
Yep.
And I said, okay, there's no way I'm going to be able to get to the bathroom and back in 180 seconds. There's just no way.
You start timing yourself right, and then you lose track of your time.
Right. Exactly. You lose track of everything. You've done D1 basketball, as have I. Okay. They love feeding people at D1 basketball games. They love feeding people and giving them prime drinks like Pepsi and Sprite and everything. And the next thing, my body decided to remind me, we got a problem. I said, there's no way I'll make it to the bathroom and back in 3 minutes. And my producer said, you can run to the bathroom. He gave me the word. You can run to the bathroom because the scorekeeper had to do the same thing. Like, are you sure? Yep. And you better go now. I'm in a suit. I took off. Went to the bathroom. I got back. I'm ready to go for the third over. I'm getting ready to go for the third overtime. Scorekeeper hadn't made it back yet. Oh, so he had an extra 5 minutes. But I got home and I was hurting. I was tired. I was exhausted. All the caffeine I put down wore off in between the third and the fourth overtime.
Yep, that'll do it.
You hit the wall. When you're in a long game like that, you hit the wall quick.
Yep.
Because it's only supposed to give you a small boost. Ha! That boost was so small. By midway through the fourth overtime, I was dragging. Bad.
Yeah.
I was dragging.
Well, I tell you, I mean, like in that same invitational, we got to the last game. My broadcast partner looked over. He goes, "You were in the zone, man. I just didn't even interject." And I was like, I had left my body. I guess I was just like zoned in and was just calling the game. And I looked up, turned to him. I said, "Man, I apologize. You just punched me in the shoulder or something." And like, because I was I guess maybe I was even calling it like radio, but when it was I was so locked in, I guess exhausted too, that I was on cruise control. So he's like, "You look possessed over there. You're just So, if it happens again, just hit me in the back of the head."
Yep. I can honestly. Okay, here's another baseball one. I'm covering Roosevelt University in Chicago, and the original scheduled day for the broadcast we had was Friday, but the weatherman decided to tell us we're going to have a lot of inclement weather on Friday. So Roosevelt and Cardinal Stritch scramble, and they said, "Can we play the game Thursday up at your place?" which was Standard Bank Stadium. And they said, "Sure, it's a scheduled home game. Let's move it up to Thursday." Get a call from both coaches. We're playing, and this was Wednesday when we got the call. We're playing the game tomorrow because of rain on Friday. What? And my partner, Mark Farina, God bless his soul and God rest his soul, called me and confirmed it. And then the folks at Roosevelt called me and confirmed it. The AD called me and confirmed it. Like, we're playing Thursday. So if you don't want to do this one, you don't have to. But we got to have you this weekend. I said, "Mike, I'm doing it. I'll get a ride from Mark. I'll get up to Standard Bank Stadium because I didn't have a car at the time. I'll get to Standard Bank Stadium and I'll do the game Thursday." He says, "So we can go ahead and publicize it on the website?" Yes. Mark and I will be there. So Mark and I worked it out. He did his prep. I did mine. And we get there, 6 o'clock pitch, and the clouds start rolling in. And I'm thinking, oh, no, here we go again. Not with the clouds. Not with the clouds. Good Lord. Not again.
Please, no, not the clouds.
Right. And, well, it wound up being a great game, like we thought it would, for first place in the conference. Roosevelt won the game in 10 innings, 5-4. So I get a walk-off single. We wrap up, and all of a sudden they turned all the lights off in the stadium.
Oh,
all the electricity was turned off. We couldn't use the elevator to get downstairs. We had to find our way through the dark. Talk about three blind mice. Both of Mark and I are holding on to the banister, trying to get downstairs. And I don't know how we did this, but we played at the park when they were getting ready for the Windy City Thunderbolt season. And there was a couch in the way. I don't know how Mark got around that couch, but before he could say, "Look out for it," I fall face first on the couch with my equipment.
Well, good thing he was on the couch, right?
Good thing it was a couch and not concrete.
Right.
I get up. All right. I made it past the couch. Didn't know there was a table behind it. I get up. I start going, pow, right in the table. I'm like, this can't be. Finally, we made it out. All the ambient lights across the street, and everybody's scrambling to get to their cars. And Mike texted me, and the other folks at Roosevelt texted me, and they said, "Y'all did a great job tonight. We'll see you Saturday." Just when we got home, the rains came, and I mean, it poured. And Mark gets home. He gets home safely. And he called me and he said, "Are you sure you want to go Saturday?" I'm like, "I want to go Saturday when it's supposed to be sunny again."
Yeah. I want to make sure it's sunny.
Yes.
That's right. Nothing worse than having the old weather, good old Mother Nature pop in and move everything around.
Because there have been times I've texted you. I look at the schedule. I got Wake Forest schedule pinned on my monitor, and I said, "Okay, Ty should be on." And I text you just to make sure, and I always do that. I've done that for the time we've been friends and the time I follow Wake Forest baseball. Like, "Are you on tonight?" And then Ty would, when weather strikes, Ty would send me the sad face and the sad emoji and the mad emoji, going, "Mother Nature had other ideas." Like, oh, no, come on.
Well, yeah, because it was last week. I drove all the way to Shelby, North Carolina, got there, hooked
Yeah.
everything up, and then next thing you know, the guy comes in and into my little press box area. Goes, "Oh, they called the game," and I was like, "They're really?" He's like, "No, they called the game," and I was like, "Oh." So I drove all the way to Shelby, North Carolina, to plug it in to see if it worked, and then unplug it and take it home.
Who are y'all playing?
They were special. They're playing Appalachian State, but they're playing at a special park in Shelby where they have the Legion World Series.
Okay.
So
Okay.
it was a nice park. It was
Mhm.
just and it was like sprinkling. It wasn't really like huge rain.
Right. Right.
But it's also a midweek game. Both teams don't want to get their players hurt, and it was probably too wet. I thought about, even when I was pulling in, I was like, I wonder if they were going to have this, but
Yeah.
they were out there warming up, and I said, all right, well, I guess I'll hook it up and let's go. And then the guy that's in charge of the stadium pops his head in and goes, they just called the game. And I was like, kind of like, no, seriously. Did they? Like, yeah.
There you go.
Right.
I was
So of course, and then I call my family, and my 4-year-old goes, "It's not raining." I said, "Yeah, not there, but I'm like 2 hours away, buddy." So
I when I was covering Roosevelt, there was we had to play Indiana South Bend, and I rode with the team down to what I thought was going to be a minor league baseball stadium. So I'm thinking, okay, I'm going to have a lot of room. I'm flying solo. No, we go to this community park because Indiana South Bend had just started playing baseball. We go to this community park, and there's a shack waiting for me, a wooden shack. I'm not doing this. I go in, there's a lot, there's room, there's a table there, and I said, okay, let's go ahead and do this. And it was supposed to be 50 degrees that afternoon. No one decided to tell me it was going to be a 20-mile-an-hour, and it went 20-mile-an-hour wind mixed into this.
So yeah, that makes it a little bit different.
Window open. I had the worst case of windburn ever. I didn't even bother to use my crowd mic because everything was coming in the headset.
Yeah, well, yeah, right.
Everything was coming in the headset. I couldn't amplify. Exactly. I couldn't amplify the pitches or nothing like I usually do with the crowd mic. Nothing. I couldn't do nothing. Man. I said, this is gonna hurt. So the sun's coming down on me, the wind's coming at me, and we won both games. I must have packed up and ran out of there so fast that I beat the team to the bus. And the coaches are coming, the players are coming. They get situated, and I'm sleeping going back to Chicago. I'm knocked out. And coach comes to me and said, you want a sandwich? Because they ordered a bunch of sandwiches from Subway. And I said, sure, give me one. Wound up with 3 of them.
There you go.
they saved 2 extra sandwiches for me. And they said, we're going to make sure you enjoy because you earned it being in that shack with the little bitty window and the wind coming at you. I got home. I covered myself in blankets, ate my dinner, and passed out.
Don't blame you.
I passed out.
I don't blame you one bit. Yeah, I mean, now with the crossover season, which they get February or March, March, basketball, baseball, then November for basketball, football, or soccer. So, which is good. And my wife says, I remind her this is crossover season, so everything's crazy. And then now I start my new crossover season because I'm picking up USL 2 games. So I've got to actually drive all the way to Greensboro today to broadcast USL 2 game, which I'm thrilled to get back into soccer again. But at the same time, it's like you got to hit that gear from baseball last night, then go back into baseball afterwards, then go back into soccer. And so I was up till 3 this morning trying to get profiles and done for soccer because it's like I've gotten to this habit that's how I do it. And even to the point where you're going through doing all this research and you're like, why am I doing this? But you keep doing it. So, and then every young Jedi that I have brought under my wing, I've taught the same style of like how to research, how to do these. And it's all because of Vin Scully. Thank you, Vin. It's all because of you, because you are my goat. And I try to go by your Yoda expertise. And therefore, you have me up till 3 a.m. trying to find all stories of different people because he did it so flawlessly and he was brilliant at it.
Yep. And in 2 words, it works.
Yes. And then every time I go back and listen to, I'll listen to Vin Scully old broadcasts like maybe once a week, different one. Mm-hmm. And you just want to throw up your hands and be like, there's just no way. There's just no way. I strive to be anywhere near Vin Scully-esque. And you
can't.
You can't. Just I want to be just let me be on the mountain or the hill beside him.
Exactly. Yeah. And my beautiful wife makes fun of me every time I bring up a Vin Scully clip. And there's a favorite she always teases me about, the Jack Clark home run in '85 against the Dodgers. And of course, Vin was the voice of the Dodgers, but it was an NBC broadcast. The first time I ever did this, and she teased me back, been laughing at it ever since. It's like one of our running jokes in the household now. And I said, here's Clark, 1 for 4.
Yeah.
Jody sneaks up behind me and goes, nuh-uh, he's 1 for 5. I fell out laughing when she did that. So now every time I rehearse a home run call or a base hit call or any calls, she'll just look at me and shake her head with try not to giggle, going, you just don't get that right. You don't remember how that happened. And she teases me every time. She teases me every time. And she's my producer in the booth when we do football. And she said, look, I don't care where we are, as long as I get a chance to share the booth with you. But what she does do, there's one thing she does make me do, is I get like 2 great big bottles of water. And I bring it every time I'm on the call. And when she hears me go to a break, this is how in tune she is with me. When she hears the cue of me going to a break, she'll just point right to the water bottle and go, drink.
You better be near a restroom though.
Yes, I know. Especially now that I got body parts missing thanks to surgery last year.
Body parts missing, right?
Yes. This is Ty Collins, the fabulous voice of Wake Forest baseball. The top-ranked Demon Deacons have a big one this weekend against Florida State. Check it out on the Wake Forest app. I know I will. I love this man, and I love the work that he does. Ty, thank you so much for coming on this afternoon. An absolute thrill and an honor, my friend. I appreciate it.
Love you too, brother. I'll talk to you soon.
Thank you, brother. Oh, man, what a fabulous conversation with Ty Collins. Y'all can see this on the YouTube page for the Brian Snow Show, as well as Snowman Multimedia. Give us a follow, give us a like, give us a subscribe so we can get the channel monetized as soon as possible. Our goal for Snowman Multimedia is to have 1,000 subscribers by the end of this month. It's a push, but it can get done. Thank you all very, very much for tuning in. I appreciate y'all. I love y'all. And we'll do it tomorrow with Matt Taylor from the Colts and Mike Debate from Locked On Patriots. God bless you, and so long, everybody.
Thank you for tuning into The Brian Snow Show, where sports is the base, life and fun are the results.